outside the ferocious soul domain, beyond the undying sacred tome. Damn it! How could it be possible for three sacred flames to coexist in one body? On a quiet path, dozens of figures hid there. This was the only exit from the undying sacred tome, and at this moment, several powerful figures from the Judgment Hall were guarding the area. The leader was a disciple of the Judgment Hall, named Yu Tianxian, whose strength was approximately at the late stage of 5-star Do Xian. He was accompanied by dozens of judgment guards, most of whom were at the mid-stage of 5-star Do Xian. Such a formidable lineup was meant to capture Xiao Yan. Captain, it's been months already. The flame power inside the undying sacred tome is growing more terrifying by the day. Even with our strength, we can't sense anything. That Xiao Yan, a mere mid-stage 4-star Do Xian, has probably perished inside the undying sacred tome, right? With the light demon launching a large-scale attack on the ferocious soul domain, how can we waste time here? We should be heading to the front lines. Some of the figures were frustrated, their faces turning dark as they approached Yu Tianxian and spoke. It wasn't their fault. After all, they had been waiting here for nearly half a year, without leaving even a step, and they hadn't let a single fly escape. Even so, Xiao Yan's figure remained elusive. Now, with the attack of the light demon, the people of the ferocious soul domain were growing restless, and their tightly wound nerves finally snapped. No. Xiao Yan possesses 3 sacred flames. If we can capture him, it will greatly enhance the top-tier strength of the ferocious soul domain. The Sect Master has already given clear orders. Xiao Yan must be captured alive. Alive to see him, dead to see his corpse. As he spoke, Yu Tianxuan's green douqi surged, expanding like ripples, and his immense aura sent a chill down the spines of the dozens of judgment guards behind him. Hoo-hoo. Finally out. I hope it's not too late. With a deep breath, a desolate figure stood alone in the void outside the undying sacred tome, his black ruler resting on his back. He looked off into the distance, muttering to himself. This man was none other than Xiao Yan, but now, both his strength and aura were vastly different from before. Whoosh whoosh. Who's there? Show yourself. As Xiao Yan retracted his gaze, his brow furrowed, and a brilliant battle intent erupted. Xiao Yan. Yu Tianxian stepped forward, releasing a dazzling aura, and sneered. Yu Tianxian could not understand why the powerful figures of the Judgment Hall had ordered him to lead such a large group to capture Xiao Yan. A mere mid-stage 4-star Do Xian was no match for him. He could easily reduce him to ashes with a single finger. Mid-stage 4-star Do Xian? The dozens of figures surrounded Xiao Yan in a circular formation, blocking all his escape routes, murmuring to themselves. Xiao Yan, however, had already reached the mid-stage of 5-star Do Xian. Fortunately, he deliberately suppressed his aura, and with the mysterious suppression of the ancient ruler of heavenly flames, only this level of strength was revealed. 10 mid-stage 5-star Do Xian, and 1 late-stage 5-star Do Xian. Judgment guards? Xiao Yan glanced over casually, then smiled lightly. If he had encountered these people before absorbing the undying fire, he would have found them difficult to deal with. But now, with his current power, the outcome of a confrontation was uncertain. Xiao Yan, you have been placed on the judgment list. Stop resisting foolishly and accept your fate. Yu Tianxuan's gaze fixed intently on Xiao Yan as he spoke each word deliberately. Yu Tianxian, an outstanding disciple of the Judgment Hall, was even stronger than Yu Xiao. However, he was well aware of the terrifying power of the sacred flames, so even though Xiao Yan seemed weak, he didn't dare underestimate him. We're in a hurry. Let's go together. Xiao Yan shook his head casually, his hand waving lightly. The ancient ruler of heavenly flames behind him suddenly surged out, arrogant to the extreme. Once we capture you, we'll make you experience a fate worse than death. The dozens of judgment guards were enraged, and multicolored ribbons of Do Qi gathered in their hands. With such a powerful display, even a late-stage 5-star Do Xian would hesitate to confront them head-on. Too much talk. Xiao Yan ignored their threats, and a faint streak of lightning flickered around his body. With the ancient ruler of heavenly flames in his hand, His figure transformed into a ghostly apparition as he shot toward Yu Tianxian. Thunder attribute? Impossible? Seeing Xiao Yan's sudden movement, Yu Tianxian couldn't help but feel puzzled. However, in the blink of an eye, he showed no hesitation. Xiao Yan refrained from using his flame powers, opting instead to test the strength of Xiao Lei's abilities to see if they could overcome his opponents. After all, in his current condition, using flame powers would leave these people unable to withstand even 3 moves. With the amplification of 4 sacred flames, his fire attribute was at least 8 times more potent than ordinary flames. Thunder Serpent. With a flick of his palm, he pushed his hand toward Yu Tianxian. A surge of energy coalesced into a silver thunder serpent about several dozen feet long, which hissed as it hurtled toward its target. Whirling wind wall. Destroy it. Yu Tianxian sneered at the seemingly fragile thunder serpent and struck heavily with his palm. A massive cyan hurricane, imbued with overwhelming destructive force, surged toward Xiao Yan. Fall back. With this strike from the captain, that guy is as good as dead. The other members of the Judgment Hall, numbering in the dozens, quickly retreated after witnessing Yu Tianxian unleash such a terrifying attack. What a brilliant wind attribute. It seems I underestimated him. Still, I'm in a hurry. I don't have time to play with you. Shaking his head in exasperation, Xiao Yan watched the cyan hurricane approach, laden with deadly energy. While the power of Xiao Lei was formidable, Xiao Yan's limited mastery of Do skills left his attacks lacking, making it difficult to counter Yu Tianxuan's assault. Flames come forth. In an instant, gray flames emanated from Xiao Yan's body, spreading like an overwhelming desolation, dyeing the area within hundreds of meters in its eerie hue. What kind of flame is this? Seeing the mysterious aura surrounding Xiao Yan, the other experts couldn't help but murmur in astonishment. 7-layered Skybreaker ruler. Xiao Yan spoke softly. The ancient ruler of heavenly flames in his hand was enveloped by fire as he slashed it toward Yu Tianxian with great force. Boom! 7 enormous gray energy rulers shot out like venomous snakes, effortlessly tearing through the cyan hurricane and charging straight at Yu Tianxian. This is the sacred flame undying fire? Impossible! Yu Tianxuan's face turned deathly pale as the 7 fiery rulers approached. Realization dawned on him at last. Lord, save me. Without hesitation, Yu Tianxian crushed a jade stone in his hand. With a whoosh, a phantom figure emerged from the shattered jade. With a mere wave of its hand, Xiao Yan's 7 fiery rulers dissolved into nothingness. The Sect Master of the Judgment Hall? Xiao Yan shook his head. Judging by the aura, though this was merely a soul projection, it possessed the power of a 7-star Do Xian. The scent of undying fire. You've actually succeeded? The aged phantom looked at Xiao Yan with incredulity. Time to leave. Xiao Yan smiled faintly. In an instant, 3 flames enveloped his body, dancing like ethereal fire spirits. A mere Sect Master dares to touch my master's disciple? Begone. A booming laugh echoed across the sky just as the phantom reached out to capture Xiao Yan. With a dull thud, a black figure appeared and obliterated the phantom with a single strike. Without hesitation, the figure grabbed Xiao Yan and disappeared from the scene. This mysterious entity from the soul-devouring domain was at least at the level of an 8-star Do Xian. Damn it! Soul-devouring domain. Yu Tianxian gritted his teeth bitterly, realizing the significance of the gray flames surrounding Xiao Yan earlier. It was undoubtedly the undying fire. With the power of 4 sacred flames and his ambiguous ties to the soul-devouring domain, Xiao Yan could very well overturn the current balance. The black shadow surged forward, leaving the undying sacred tome far behind in the blink of an eye. This man isn't from the soul-devouring domain. Suspended by the black shadow, Xiao Yan noticed they were heading toward a concealed area within the ferocious soul domain. At first, Xiao Yan assumed the figure to be a member of the soul-devouring domain, but upon closer inspection, its aura was peculiar. A faint, dominating green glow radiated from its black robes, an energy so unique that it even unsettled Xiao Yan's soul perception. This power wasn't something Xiao Yan had ever encountered. On top of that, he vaguely realized that this figure had been trailing him all along, intervening only when he faced danger. "My lord," Xiao Yan couldn't help but ask as they sped along. A sense of guardedness had crept into his mind. Heh. The black figure halted abruptly, bringing them to a rocky outcrop. Gazing deeply at Xiao Yan, the figure removed its hood, revealing its true face. "You're that strange man from before?" Xiao Yan exclaimed in shock as he recognized the unremarkable features of the person who had once barred his way outside the undying sacred tome. "Little one," the black fiend dragon wolf said with a toothy grin. This time, there was no trace of arrogance. Instead, it regarded Xiao Yan with a calm and even demeanor. "Senior, what is this about?" Xiao Yan was utterly perplexed, unable to make sense of the situation. From what he could tell during the earlier fight, this man's power was comparable to Hao Ni'er's. "I don't mean you any harm, I just want to," the black fiend dragon wolf said as a delicate paper slipped from his palm. A treasure from the monster realm, the soul-collecting sail, capable of drawing certain living beings inside. Whoosh! Just as the black fiend dragon wolf approached Xiao Yan, black light surged from Xiao Yan's body, forming a veil of dark light that enveloped him. "Sigh, let's go. After a while, the black fiend dragon wolf shook his head helplessly and said, "Farewell." Seeing this, Xiao Yan didn't hesitate and immediately stretched out his palm. The space in front of him ripped open, and without any delay, he stepped into the space portal, heading toward the soul-devouring domain's main base. What's the big deal with a soul-devouring domain? If the Lord were still here, it wouldn't be worth mentioning. As he spoke, a shadow of light around the black fiend dragon wolf vanished, but the power surrounding this light was somewhat similar to Hao Ni'er's. Besides, looking at this situation, the three realms conflict is about to begin. I'm actually a bit excited about it. Hee. After speaking, the black fiend dragon wolf disappeared. "Young Master Xiao Yan, are you all right?" Not long after Xiao Yan entered the space, a soft voice echoed. "You Hunzi?" Xiao Yan looked over and recognized this familiar face. This person was none other than a subordinate of the Master of Souls that Xiao Yan had saved on Icefire Island. After that, this person had gone to the soul-devouring domain to seek reinforcements with the soul-devouring talisman and was now one of the leaders of this war. "You Xiao Yan has been thoroughly placed on the trial list by the ferocious soul domain, so the lords instructed me to wait for you here," Yu Hunzi said. However, Yu Hunzi noticed something peculiar. There seemed to be a mysterious force emanating from Xiao Yan, a power that even his 6-star Do Xian strength couldn't probe, making Yu Hunzi quite curious. "By the way, that mysterious power just now?" Xiao Yan casually asked. "It's the Queen's power. Now, we don't have much time. I'll take you to the main base. The Queen and the others are waiting for you. Also, the Light Demon has been attacking the ferocious soul domain for 6 months, and the real battle between the two sides is about to begin." With those words, the two of them turned into streaks of black light, swiftly moving through the space portal. Elsewhere in the ferocious soul domain, terrifying battles raged on. The demon guards under the Light Demon were incredibly strong, and when the battle started, they pushed the ferocious soul domain's upper echelons into retreat with their overwhelming numbers. Fortunately, the ferocious soul domain had a deep foundation, and after some adjustments, they began to resist the demon guards. Despite the prolonged conflict between the two forces, neither side had any experts above the 8-star Do Xian level take part, and even the top experts of both sides seemed to be avoiding direct confrontation. In the soul-devouring domain, aboard the spatial ship, "Your Majesty." Inside a quiet room aboard the ship, several figures stood still, one of them unable to contain themselves and spoke up. "How is the battle between the Light Demon and the ferocious soul domain going?" Hao Ni'er, sitting in a high position, frowned slightly and asked, her delicate face filled with concern. At present, the Master of Souls was still in seclusion, but with the Light Demon's assault, many of the strongest of the soul-devouring domain had gathered aboard these spaceships, and there was growing dissatisfaction among them. Their mission was to defeat the Master of Souls, and now with the Light Demon's intervention, their chances of success had greatly increased. But even so, Hao Ni'er, the acting domain lord, had ordered the forces to remain still, which deepened the dissatisfaction. I don't know the details of the battle. May I ask, Your Majesty, is the reason you brought the army here just to observe and return in defeat? At this moment, a man dressed in silver armor stood up from his seat, cupped his fists, and spoke, his voice filled with deep resentment. Bai Zhe, report on the battle. Hao Ni'er said indifferently, her jade hand slightly spinning a jade ring as she spoke. Your Majesty, the light demon has already captured 1/5 of the ferocious soul domain's territory. However, where they pass, there is no bloodshed, no pillaging. It's eerily calm. They completely ignore the common folk and smaller forces of the ferocious soul domain, but have launched a frenzied assault on the 5 great halls and the Master of Souls Divine Hall. Although they haven't breached any of them yet, I suspect that if any of the 5 great halls show a gap, they will bypass them and head straight for the Master of Souls Divine Hall. Their target seems to be the Divine Hall of the Master of Souls, or rather, the Master of Souls himself. Bai Zhe respectfully reported, Your Majesty, let's move out. If we don't act now, the opportunity might slip away. Several generals also spoke up. I've already told the Master, a mere woman, how could? Queen, Xiao Yan, the young hero, has returned safely. In the next moment, as tensions rose, both Han Yuzi and Xiao Yan appeared one after the other. Elder Shirtian, what do you mean by that? Hao Ni'er glanced briefly at Xiao Yan, then turned her gaze toward the elders. To not fight when we should, wasting the chance to strike, entrusting the ferocious soul domain to you is a grave mistake. Ha ha ha, the elder laughed self-deprecatingly. Elder Shirtian, the queen is now the domain lord of the ferocious soul domain. Are you disrespecting the master's orders? Do you realize the consequences? In an instant, Bai Zhe and Yu Hunzi shouted angrily. Let the battle begin. This time, we must make the ferocious soul domain pay. Listening to the argument in the room, Hao Ni'er smiled faintly, then a powerful aura of a top-tier expert erupted from her. The reason Hao Ni'er had delayed the battle was because of Xiao Yan. Now that Xiao Yan had returned safely, it was time for the final step. 8 stars. Perfect. The room fell silent. Bai Zhe, Shirtian, gather all the commanders aboard the ships. We will decide the attack routes under the master statue in 10 minutes. As Hao Ni'er spoke with commanding authority, the pressure of a ruler spread out, like a true queen asserting her dominance. Understood. Several powerful experts responded excitedly as their eyes glowed. After waiting for so long, it was finally time for battle. With Hao Ni'er's command, the ferocious soul domain sprang into action, and any resentment toward her disappeared completely. No matter what, Hao Ni'er's strength and temperament made her one of the top figures in the ferocious soul domain, and her rule had brought prosperity to the region. The people were more than willing to follow her orders. After a moment, only Xiao Yan and Hao Ni'er remained in the room. Senior sister, the master? Xiao Yan asked, glancing around the empty room. The master is likely in a special void, recovering his strength. Even with the 7 soul-walking lamps, I can't say how long it will take. Also, for some unknown reason, the light demon is attacking the ferocious soul domain with all her power. We cannot afford to waste this opportunity. The dissatisfaction among the subordinates is growing. If we don't act now, morale will plummet, Hao Ni'er said with a slight gleam in her eyes. She had long suppressed the dissatisfaction of the powerful subordinates, and now, with Xiao Yan's return, it was the perfect moment to instigate the battle. A war. Xiao Yan nodded helplessly, knowing that such a large-scale battle would cost many lives, and the scene would be devastating. Senior sister, could this be a plot by the light demon? Xiao Yan asked cautiously. Not likely. The light demon is mysterious, and it's said she has a deep-seated grudge with the master of ferocious souls. The details are unclear, Hao Ni'er replied. Even if it's a plot, we can only charge forward. But even if this is a conspiracy, I will make them pay. Hao Ni'er's voice was laced with a terrifying energy that could shake the heavens. Is there anything I can help with? After a few moments of silence, Xiao Yan asked again. Not at the moment. However, I noticed that something in your body seems different from before. Hao Ni'er smiled as she said this. For her to say such a thing, it was clear that Xiao Yan had grown remarkably stronger. I have devoured the undying fire. My strength has reached the mid-stage of 5-star Docian. I should be able to help you, senior sister, Xiao Yan confessed openly. No wonder. However, this battle involves too many factions, including the extraterritorial evil clan and various hidden forces watching us. You should not get involved. This is to protect you. After all, the identities of the Sacred Flames controller and the Xiao clan. Hao Ni'er hesitated. Senior sister, I am also the master's disciple. His enemies are my enemies. I must fight, and I need the lovesickness flame. I cannot sit out this battle. Xiao Yan clenched his fists, his expression grim. But in the worst-case scenario, you might die. I won't die. Senior sister, believe in me. If you die, I won't be able to explain to the master. Senior sister. You. Inside the quiet room, Xiao Yan and Hao Ni'er continued to argue back and forth. Fine, fine. Before master entered seclusion, he gave me specific instructions. I can't argue with you. This time, you can participate in the battle, but remember to do your best. As for the lovesickness flame, it's probably still in the hands of the master of ferocious souls. Also, according to the information I've received, the master of ferocious souls seems to still be in seclusion. Once the war breaks out, you can sneak into his divine hall amidst the chaos. I'll assign you to a small team, but your identity is special, and the ferocious soul domain is actively hunting you, so you'll need to disguise yourself. Are you dressing up? Xiao Yan smiled slightly and said, the primal power of the ghost-faced soul flame is disguise. Although this disguise is only useful in the ghost realm, unless an 8-star Docian powerhouse uses their senses, it will not be detected. Thank you, senior sister. Xiao Yan nodded happily upon hearing this. This was within the range he could accept, and both the second domain war and the lovesickness heartbreak flame were of utmost importance to him. By the way, senior sister, your power? After a moment, Xiao Yan asked in confusion. Now, Hao Ni'er's strength had reached the full 8-star Docian, a level of power as formidable as the peak-level Devourer of Souls. Teacher gave me the Soul Devouring Talisman to ensure the success of this war. I consumed it and reached this level, Hao Ni'er said helplessly. When the Devourer of Souls first gave her the talisman, Hao Ni'er had firmly rejected it, thinking that the talisman was more necessary for the Devourer of Souls, who was breaking through the cycle of reincarnation. Unfortunately, after the Devourer of Souls entered seclusion, Hao Ni'er discovered the soul message left by her teacher and realized that this was the only path forward. Let's go, junior brother. I'll take you to meet the powerhouses of our soul-devouring domain. Soon after, Hao Ni'er's silver cloak unfurled, making her appear like an immortal who had never tasted mortal affairs. A silver mist surrounded her, resembling a true eternal empress. Moments later, the two entered the hall, one after the other. The hall had 2 levels, with stairs leading up and down. Below, the hall was filled with powerful figures, dozens of them, all focused on the statue in the center. Above, a lifelike statue stood, with a black throne slowly appearing beside it. The throne was adorned with intricate designs, and countless supreme powers permeated the air. Welcome, Queen. Seeing Hao Ni'er's demeanor, the many powerhouses spoke in unison. Report to the Queen. There are 152 commanders on the spaceships of the soul-devouring domain, all gathered and ready for your orders. Bai Zhe, clad in green armor like a true war god, said with the utmost solemnity. Everyone, my master has returned, so there's no need to worry. The ferocious soul master must pay the price for everything done to our soul-devouring domain, and today that debt must be repaid with blood. We must succeed in this battle. Failure is not an option. Bai Zhe, I order you to take 1/5 of the powerhouses and attack the Judgment Hall of the 5 Great Halls. Yuan Feng, I order you to lead 1/5 of the powerhouses, along with Xiao Yan, to attack a fortress near the Elder Council. The 2 protectors and the elders, follow me to the front lines and observe. Remember, No 8-star Do Xian powerhouses are allowed to act or appear before the 5 Great Halls are broken through. If you encounter the demon guards of the Light Demon, do not engage in conflict. If the demon guards insist on interfering, cut them down. A commanding voice surged from Hao Ni'er's indifferent tone. Victory is certain. Let's go. Immediately, the forces of the soul-devouring domain began to march towards the 5 Great Halls, launching their attack. In a flash, the ferocious soul domain found itself caught in a dual assault from both the Light Demon and the soul-devouring domain, putting it in a very perilous situation. The ferocious soul domain, originally an incredibly fertile territory with countless prodigies, now was filled with smoke and the eerie, oppressive energy of ghosts. Waves of light, resembling pure white beams, were spreading and purifying the ghostly aura. The ferocious soul domain's territory was vast, home to numerous affiliated forces and the 5 Great Halls. The 5 Great Halls were located at the center of the ferocious soul domain, and their formation seemed to vaguely resemble a pentagram. At the heart of this formation was the entrance to the ferocious soul master's divine hall. At present, aside from the Earth Spirit Hall, the other 4 halls had suffered heavy losses. Fortunately, powerful figures from the 4 great temples had sent reinforcements to ease their plight. However, they were still in dire straits. One strange thing stood out. Whether it was the ferocious soul domain or the Light Demon, they had only sent their middle-tier forces to fight, and no 8-star Do Xian level powerhouses had appeared. It seemed as if both sides had formed some unspoken understanding. With the 4 Great Halls management, the demon guards were quickly being defeated, though the army of the soul-devouring domain was closely following. The Elder Council occupied a massive mountain range, surrounded by a river known as the Primordial River, which protected the mountain. Only by breaking through this river could one attack the Elder Council. It was strange that the primary target of the demon guards was the Judgment Hall and the Judgment Palace, with barely any demon guards at the Elder Council. Master, ahead is the river at the foot of the Elder Council mountain. It's said that this river is called the Primordial River, an eerie ghost river, and there are several 6-star Do Xian guarding it. A 6-star Do Xian, even in such a tense situation, is still a powerful and indispensable force. The purpose of their small team is to disrupt the area and probe the strength of the Elder Council's defending experts, so that the main force of the ferocious soul domain, which is already prepared, can launch a full-scale attack and take control. This is the brilliance of Hao Ni'er, first sending a small team to gather intelligence on the battlefield to avoid unnecessary losses and clashes with the demon guards. Once the situation is fully understood, the majority of the ferocious soul domain's army will attack, and that will be the real battle. The goal is also to await the return of the Master of Ferocious Souls. After all, even though Hao Ni'er has reached the perfection of an 8-star Do Xian, there is still a sense of helplessness when it comes to the Master of Ferocious Souls. Young Master Xiao Yan, do you have any insights? Asked Yuan Feng, the team leader, as he listened to the scout's report. There's no need to be so polite, Captain Yuan. But I think this river may be more than it seems, Xiao Yan replied. Moreover, among our 11 members, only 2 are 6-star Do Xian, and if we clash head-on with them, it might not be the wisest choice. Xiao Yan scanned the surroundings and noticed that just ahead of them was an expanse of ocean. The calm, deep blue water seemed peaceful, but there could already be a network of traps within. Currently, Xiao Yan, using the power of the ghost-faced soul flame, had disguised himself as a simple man, making it hard for ordinary people to detect him. However, the ancient ruler of heavenly flames was still strapped to his back, as not many would make the connection. Captain, I think young Master Xiao Yan is being overly cautious. The ferocious soul domain has been in chaos for months due to the attacks from the Light Demon, and the people are already in a panic. This primordial river is probably just a hollow name. Once we clear this place and pave the way for the adults, we will wipe out the Elder Council and make a great contribution, said one of the others, disagreeing with Xiao Yan's assessment. The team of 11, led by Yuan Feng, consisted of a mid-stage 6-star Do Xian, with another member, Yuan Yi, being in the early stage of 6-star Do Xian. The others were all in the late stage of 5-star Do Xian. Such a powerful team naturally far surpassed Xiao Yan in strength, So many of the team members did not take him seriously. After all, Xiao Yan's strength was relatively weak, and not everyone knew that he was a disciple of the Master of Ferocious Souls. Yuan Feng frowned immediately after hearing this. Though he didn't know Xiao Yan's exact identity, anyone who could follow Lady Hao Ni'er in the main hall couldn't possibly be an ordinary person. Forget it. Let's split into 2 teams. Anyone who wants to follow me can come along. Xiao Yan sighed, seeing the division in the team. He knew that his priority was to enter the Divine Hall and search for the lovesickness flame. Furthermore, the defenders here were only 6-star Docian. Now that Xiao Yan had the power to fight them, it wasn't too difficult. Let's go. As soon as he spoke, the 11 members split into 2 teams. Xiao Yan and Yuan Feng paired together, while the other 9 formed separate pairs. Yuan Feng frowned upon seeing this, unable to hide his confusion. Captain, let's just split into 2 teams as planned, said Yuan Yi. Let's go. Xiao Yan couldn't argue anymore and directly headed toward the primordial river. Sigh. I hope these guys will be okay, Yuan Feng murmured, then separated to follow Xiao Yan. No matter what, as the captain, Yuan Feng had to protect this guy. Hemph. Just some noble fools, thinking too highly of themselves, with only mid-stage 5-star Docian power. The 9 of them muttered as they watched Xiao Yan and Yuan Feng leave. While the team respected Hao Ni'er's leadership, it was precisely this respect that had made her an untouchable goddess in the ferocious soul domain. When the news spread that Xiao Yan had been walking side by side with Lady Hao Ni'er, he quickly became a thorn in everyone's side, fueling their resentment. The ferocious soul domain's power structure was divided. At the top was the Master of Ferocious Souls, followed by the 4 Great Guardians, the 7 Halls, and the various Elders. Young Master Xiao Yan, please don't take offense to what happened earlier. These guys didn't mean any harm. It's just that Lady Hao Ni'er. Yuan Feng quickly explained as he walked alongside Xiao Yan toward the primordial river. For some reason, despite being a mid-stage 6-star Docian, Yuan Feng couldn't shake the feeling that Xiao Yan was someone far deeper and more mysterious than he seemed, which left him puzzled. Lady Hao Ni'er? Xiao Yan asked in confusion. Ever since the disappearance of the Master of Ferocious Souls, Lady Hao Ni'er took over the ferocious soul domain. The various decrees she has issued have made the domain more prosperous than ever. So, in the eyes of the people, the queen is sacred and untouchable. When the news spread that young Master Xiao Yan walked side by side with the queen, Yuan Feng grinned. Indeed, beauty is a disaster. Crack? The moment the 2 of them finished their conversation, several figures suddenly appeared on the nearby path. Judging by their appearance, they seemed to be fallen guards. Wait, someone's coming. A moment later, without saying a word, Xiao Yan lightly lifted Yuan Feng's clothes and wrapped both of them in his soul power, plunging them into the Yuan River. This guy, he's so strong. At this moment, Yuan Feng finally realized that Xiao Yan's soul power had already reached the late stage of the Void Realm, and his keen perception was even more astonishing. The Yuan River was a vast, deep blue ocean, several thousand meters wide. It was said to be extremely dangerous, the real natural barrier of the Elder Council, with many guards patrolling the surface, keeping a vigilant watch. If one tried to break through by force, it would hardly be a wise choice. The Elder Council's headquarters was deep in the mountains at the center of the Yuan River, and the surrounding area was a dense forest. With the 4 great temple masters now commanding the battle, the defeat of the light demon is just a matter of time. Don't let your guard down. It's said that powerful beings from the soul devouring domain are lurking in the shadows, ready to launch surprise attacks. We must remain vigilant. What's there to fear? With the 4 temple masters in charge, even the light demon's powers are helpless. But our top experts have yet to make a move. It seems like they're waiting for something. I guess they're waiting for the powerful beings from the soul-devouring domain. After all, both the light demon and the 4 temple masters know that their strengths are not far apart. If they were to fall out completely, one side would definitely suffer casualties. At that time, the soul-devouring domain would take advantage. This is something everyone wants to avoid, hence the stalemate. At this moment, Xiao Yan and Yuan Feng had already hidden in the Yuan River, and at the edge of the forest, two figures could not help but mutter, "These guys." Yuan Feng, following Xiao Yan, frowned as he overheard their conversation. It seemed that although the light demon and the master of ferocious souls had deep enmity, the fear of a surprise attack from the soul-devouring domain prevented them from going all out. Otherwise, with the light demon's power, a full-scale attack would have wiped out most of the soul-devouring domain. Even after nearly half a year of skirmishes, it had only been small-scale battles. Now that the experts from the soul-devouring domain are moving, once they reveal themselves, the real decisive battle will begin. We must enter the temple and find the heartbreak flame before the final confrontation. Xiao Yan stood silently in the Yuan River, his fists clenched tightly. "Young Master Xiao Yan, are you all right?" Seeing Xiao Yan's slightly contorted face, Yuan Feng asked softly. The immense pressure from the river made it difficult for Yuan Feng to stand, yet Xiao Yan seemed completely unaffected. This deepened Yuan Feng's admiration for him. "Too late stage 5-star Do Xian. I have a plan." After a moment, Xiao Yan smiled, and a green flame swept around him, shooting up from the surface of the river. It surged toward the two patrolling soldiers, so fast and powerful that they would likely be severely injured in an instant. "Enemies, send the signal." The two late-stage 5-star Do Xian experts were no pushovers. When Xiao Yan's figure leapt out of the river, they immediately became alert. A red scroll appeared in their hands, and they tore it open, launching it into the sky. This was a special signal scroll used by the Elder Council. Once activated, it would likely summon real experts, and Xiao Yan and Yuan Feng's infiltration would fail. "Young Master Xiao Yan, that's a signal scroll. We cannot let it activate, or if the Yuan River's experts discover us, our mission will fail." Seeing this, Yuan Feng couldn't help but shout, wanting to get up and destroy the scroll, but was stopped by the flow of the Yuan River. "Heartbreak Flame Domain." Xiao Yan smiled slightly, and at once, a pink force enveloped a radius of 1,000 meters. Meanwhile, the signal scroll above Xiao Yan's domain spread easily, yet the fireworks-like scroll went unnoticed because it was within Xiao Yan's domain. "Damn it! Who is this? Wind Domain? Earth Domain?" The two experts were momentarily stunned. Xiao Yan appeared ordinary, but the unseen threat he radiated made them shudder. Without hesitation, they began to unleash their domain power. "You don't stand a chance." Xiao Yan naturally wouldn't let the two late-stage 5-star Do Xian experts use their domains. After all, in his own domain, he was the true king. The king's command cannot be disobeyed. Sacred Flame. With a cold snort, green flames erupted, roaring toward the two experts. Not good. The two were still trying to activate their domains, but upon seeing Xiao Yan's ghostly green flames, their pupils contracted sharply. Without looking back, they started running in all directions within the Heartbreak Flame domain. Both of them were soul entities, native residents of the ghost realm. "You two, use your identities." Seeing this, Xiao Yan didn't linger for long. With a casual wave of his hand, the clothes of the two individuals immediately fell off, and pink energy formed a chain that effortlessly bound them. Bastards! Seeing Xiao Yan's actions, the two of them were about to struggle, but the pink energy completely restrained them, leaving them unable to move. The menacing cyan flames nearby caused them to back down immediately. This guy really is hiding his strength. The mastery of this domain, even I fall short. Yuan Feng came forward and muttered, "Ferocious Soul Domain?" After seeing Yuan Feng, the two bound guards gasped in shock. They instantly recognized his identity due to the unique aura surrounding him. Sleep. Without hesitation, Yuan Feng released a dazzling white halo, striking the two with a single blow, causing them to immediately lose consciousness. Soul power, huh? After the two changed into new clothes, Yuan Feng glanced at Xiao Yan, who stood beside them. At this moment, Xiao Yan's radiant soul energy was probing the two's minds, clearly trying to extract valuable information, as well as to ensure this disguise would pass unnoticed. Seems like their positions are too low. After a moment, Xiao Yan shook his head helplessly. Although their positions were relatively low, their entry into Yuan River, as well as the powerful guards stationed here, were immediately obvious. So, it wasn't without gains. What's the situation? Yuan Feng asked anxiously. The clothes of these men had special powers, but if they recklessly entered Yuan River posing as patrolling guards without full preparation, it would be dangerous. If discovered, they would be in a perilous situation. Captain Yuan, would you be interested in taking a dive into Yuan River? After finishing everything, Xiao Yan grinned. Xiao Yan knew that with his heavenly-grade battle soul and the rapidly growing power from the undying fire devourer, his strength was somewhat unstable. Only by engaging in combat could he stabilize this condition, or else it might hinder his future advancement. Although Xiao Yan was currently only at the mid-stage of 5-star Do Xian, with all the tools at his disposal, even he wasn't sure where his limits lay. He was eager to test his abilities. What's stopping me? Since young Master Xiao Yan is so bold, I can only accompany you to death. Yuan Feng smiled, but there was a hint of admiration in his voice. The plan Xiao Yan suggested was the simplest and most effective, saving a lot of time. Then let's go. With a 6-star Do Xian powerhouse, I hope you won't disappoint me.